My name is Robbie Omondi, and this is Life 360.
We are at Coffee and Plant. Their menu is not just special, it is one that is ensuring that we take care of our health, and also we embrace some very sustainable eating. Stick with me, let's talk about sustainable eating, let's know what it means, and then you will have a choice, either to embrace sustainable eating or to continue leaving environmental footsteps or footprints that your future generations will not enjoy. We are just about to speak to Truti. She'll introduce herself and then take us through what does it mean to have, plant-based foods, especially in a menu, as options for any other variant of foods that we have in different restaurants. So she's going to take us through her restaurant, what it is, why it began in the first place, and what options they have when it comes to plant-based foods. Truti, thank you so much for having us today.
Welcome to Coffee and Plant.
Thank you. So introduce yourself. Then we want to hear your story basically about this amazing restaurant, where it began, why it began in the first place.
So my name's Dhruti and I'm the founder of this place. The story began actually 5 years ago when my firstborn was born and I didn't want to go back to a full-time job. And given that we have these dairy allergies in the family, I was always trying to experiment with plant-based alternatives for dairy products. And my family was really enjoying what we were creating, especially during that COVID lockdown time, plant-based milks and all of that stuff. And so they're like, why don't you just try and market this product of yours? And well, I didn't have any other option, and I didn't want to just sit at home and do nothing. I had been working for 10 years before that. So the idea of sitting at home and just constantly being around my baby, I was not going to be able to do that. So I was like, okay, sure. So, we conceptualized the idea, did the branding, and we launched in October 2020. And I think we launched at the perfect time because it was lockdown. People were not traveling, were not busy, not going out. So a lot of them were spending time on their phones, and we launched purely just on Instagram. It was like a delivery program that we were doing, and the uptake was fantastic. Honestly speaking, there were times we were waking up at 3 in the morning to start the milk production so that customers would get their orders by noon. It was crazy. It was a crazy journey, a very good response to what I was trying to do. And so that encouragement from the customers just kept me going. Many times I was frustrated because I was all by myself, raising 2 little kids, and I'm like, I'm just going to shut this business down. But when I would announce it to my customers, nobody allowed me to do so. So that encouragement really pushed me forward, and I started experimenting with vegan cheeses and a lot of other plant-based dairy alternatives in my home kitchen, and I started sampling them in markets, and people were just excited because at that time, to be honest, there was just imported products that were available, super expensive, filled with a lot of preservatives, additives, and all of that stuff. And because it was COVID and people were becoming really health conscious, they were looking for healthier alternatives, because at that time it was like the healthy is surviving, the unhealthy is not. So the response was great, uptake great, business was growing, my family was growing, my workload was growing. So at one point it was like either we go down the manufacturing route or do something different. But when we started talking about manufacturing, it was all about preservatives, additives, because supermarkets want longer shelf lives and all of that. And I was like, that's not going to be possible.
Now, before then we go to that part where now again plant-based foods have a shorter shelf life compared to other menus or other products. I would want us to know, when we're talking about plant-based milks, for example, what are we talking about? Give us the options that are there.
Yeah, sure. So there is like the nut milks, which is like almond milk, cashew milk, macadamia milk. Then there is the plant milk, which is coconut milk, soybean milk. Nowadays people are doing pumpkin seed milk, millet milks. There is a whole wide, you could basically make milk out of anything you would like to do so. Basically dried grains, yeah, there's a lot going on. Quinoa milk, there's a lot happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, where do you find these products for you to even now have milk from them in the first place?
Experimenting, researching. There's a lot of people studying this topic now. So there's a lot of research. There's rice milk. There's a lot of experiments happening. If you look at my Instagram feed, the things that I'm bombarded with is just all these kind of recipes, and that's where I get my inspiration from. I try to dig deeper one level by reading a few research papers just to understand the science behind it. So yeah, it's mainly the internet, honestly speaking.
Now, in terms of sourcing for this product,
Yeah.
is it easy to find for you to make almond milk? How
Yeah.
much almond do you need in the first place, and where do you get it from?
Yeah, so some items is hard because Kenya doesn't grow them. So for example, almonds are imported. And there's other items like coconuts, which are so widely, readily available, 100% natural, 100% plant-based. So it depends. So I personally really try to make the products with locally sourced ingredients. Number one, I also don't want to, importing, it's a hassle. But number two, I also really just would like to support the end goal. I'm not there yet, but eventually, we will go down the supply chain. The end goal is to support smallholder farmers, to support women. I come from the development background. For 10 years, I worked in there. I've interacted with so many farmers across the continent. And so I'd love to, go down that supply chain to be able to support local producers as much as possible. So a lot of the items that we do here, I try to find locally produced, locally grown, local ingredients for my products, yes.
Right. So eventually, ethylene, coffee, and plant. Tell us about that.
So the idea behind Coffee and Plant was to show people how to use these products. I did a lot of marketing and would keep getting questions on, oh, I'm putting milk in my coffee and it's splitting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, it's not working. Because yes, there's science behind it. So I thought, why not start a cafe? Anyways, my passion had gone into food. I was already deep in it. So I was like, let's do this and we'll use our products in our dishes so people can see how to use them. And so that's where the idea of a cafe was born, basically, and that's where we started. So all our dishes have our homemade plant milks that are replacing the dairy milks. They have, all our dishes have our cheeses. My cakes, tiramisu cake has our homemade mascarpone cheese. Mayonnaise, homemade. Everything that we use here is homemade using our plant-based products.
How is it making these products and using them in the cafe?
So for as of now, it's very easy. It's very simple because I understand the science behind it. But it took me a couple years to get to where we are right now, obviously, because if you don't understand how soya milk works or the protein content, the food science bit of it, which I don't have a degree in, but I have just burnt that midnight oil, many nights reading research papers, trying to understand why what I did in the kitchen didn't work and what can I do to better it. So that's where I understood, dairy, the protein content. Mozzarella cheese, why is it the way it is? It's because of the protein content. So now how can I add that using plants to my vegan mozzarella cheese to somewhat come as close as possible? And another thing that I had to do was to change my mindset a little bit. I wanted to give customers a product as close to possible as their dairy counterpart, but slowly I realized it's not going to be possible 100%, especially with the real ingredients that I wanted to use. So first I had to change my own mindset because I was constantly getting disappointed. I had very high standards. I wasn't releasing products because it was not exactly their dairy counterpart. But as I started changing my mindset and I started talking to people, it also helped me to now innovate these products and know that you will not get the 100% of your dairy counterpart, but you will be very close. And those who appreciate it and those who need it will really appreciate your product.
Basically, the taste, for example, of mozzarella cheese that we know is the same taste.
Close to, I would say, not 100%. Obviously, dairy has its own taste, and then cashews and peanuts have their own taste. So not there, but very much there. Yeah.
In terms of health implications, what would you say you've realized, even coming up to the cafe, and the feedback that you get from your clients, health-wise? How does it relate?
So for example, a lot of my customers, who support me and who believe in what I'm doing are always also educating me. It's not always me educating people. Sometimes people come up to me and be like, did you know cashews have 0 cholesterol in them? I did not know that. I was brought up knowing that cashews are full of the bad cholesterol, like don't eat so much of cashews. But somebody was like, this is fantastic, because they must have taken my product to a nutritionist, and the nutritionist like, this is way better for you to eat than dairy, cheese, because there is actually 0 bad cholesterol. It's all the good stuff that cashews have. So there's obviously a lot of advantages to plant-based products. Peanuts, a lot of protein if stored the right way, used the right way. So I think it's not a this or that. I think if you want to switch to a plant-based diet, you can still get the same nutrients that you were once getting or are looking from the non-plant-based products.
All right. Now, when it comes to Eat for Impact, as an initiative, as a project, tell us what you think about it and how your cafe and what you do resonates with this particular initiative.
It's fantastic. Like when I got that message, I was like, wow, these kind of things have started to happen in Nairobi, because honestly, I was feeling a bit alone in this space over here. So it was really nice to see that somebody is going to come and try push this for us. There's only so much I can do myself. So I was very excited to be part of it. I mean, what they stand for is 100% what we are doing and trying to do at the cafe. Trying to be so innovative in the plant-based side, give those options to people, and that's what exactly they're trying to encourage restaurants to do as well. And the funny thing is, like, when I was told that you need to create 2 dishes, and I'm like, what do you mean? Because my entire menu is what you guys want, so why do I have to do that? So no, it's such a great initiative, and I think they need to continue, and the more they do it, the more people are going to be aware of it, more restaurants will want to participate, as the plant-based community in Kenya is really, really, really growing very fast.
Right. What would you tell other people? Let's say someone who has never tried plant-based, or they're not a fan. It is easy to assume that plant-based foods are boring, they're tasteless, or they are different, for lack of, maybe not trying or not having gone to a place like...
has had a negative experience.
What do you
So
say
that's
about
my whole mission here.
Yeah.
My mission is to show people that I promise you, just come in here and you will want to keep coming back, because my mission is to not give you those dry cakes. Is to give you a really good meal, and you won't believe it, it's plant-based. If you look at some of our Google reviews, or even some of the conversations that I have with customers, people are like, I can't believe that you're serving this kind of plant-based food. And that's my mission. We go through rigorous quality checks when we're creating dishes. I have very high standards set, for the dishes, and so we will never pass anything that is either tasteless, chewy, dry. And I have all the ingredients at my doorstep, because we create so much in-house to make these items as close to their dairy, the non-plant-based counterparts. Yeah.
Parting shot, especially for people and restaurants to embrace options.
Yes.
What would you say about that? Because again, we are used to going to a restaurant and the menu is full of, maybe meats and chicken, but the option of plant-based food is limited in other places. I know you have not left out the other menus, but would you say that we need to embrace these options that are there so that people can have choices, more choices?
Definitely, definitely. I think it's so important. Number one, not just to cater to the people who are fully plant-based, but also number two, to give options to those who are not. I think the more you see of something, the more you want to try it, right? If you don't have exposure to plant-based stuff and you only know non-plant-based things, you will continue with that. But if somebody gives you some sort of exposure, if somebody gives you something to try, and then to your surprise you might like it, and you know, in today's day and age, it's not hard to create these plant-based dishes. We have a ton of products at our doorstep. There's the internet, you know, where you can learn how to create some of the best dishes and stuff like that. So I think there's no excuse now. Maybe 10 years ago there was an excuse, but now there isn't. And I personally believe, like, I'm sure a lot of my customers here are meat eaters. I'm sure a lot of customers of my plant-based milks are also eating meat. But the fact that they're using this as an option, you know, it's just trying. We've given out samples. Even here, I'll be like, if you don't trust us, try something, and then tell me what you think about it.
You try, then you decide.
Yes, exactly. So let's expose the community to more of these items. And definitely, if it's not 5 days a week, they will switch to it at least 1 day a week, two days a week. The information is out there that plant-based is healthy. People want to switch to it. People don't know how to do it. So I want to, you know, expose them that it's very simple, it's very delicious, it's very good for you, basically.
And finally, cost-wise, would you say plant-based foods or other products are costlier compared to other products?
So yes, it is, and the reason being is where we are at right now. Especially if you go and try and buy like a plant-based milk from outside, or if you go and try and buy a cheese from outside, a lot of it is imported. You know, the prices are expensive. But if you start using locally produced items to make those products, it's not so expensive. But generally, like even running this cafe, you know, I would get comments saying that this is a vegetarian cafe, it should be cheaper. But let me tell you, it's actually very expensive. The cost of vegetables, the cost of production of these dishes is quite expensive. It's not my margins are higher. And you know, we are trying not to use any canned foods. We're trying to go as fresh as possible. No preservatives. You know, tomato sauces. We've got companies, you know, calling us, hey, don't you want to use our canned tomato sauces? Don't you want to do this? And I said, no, we're going to make our own fresh. The cost that comes with making those small fresh batches is much higher than opening a tin of a canned tomato sauce and heating it up, basically.
I agree.
So, you know, I will still stick to what I believe in, and I will still give people that, and I know those who appreciate it will keep coming back and will come for it.
So thank you, Tracy. I think it's time for us to try some of this food, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right.
So, thank you.
All right.
So we have a barbecue jackfruit pita pocket. So basically it has seasoned jackfruit with a barbecue sauce, all in-house made, with some pickles, some veggies and things like that. Everything is house made. And then for dessert we have a rose pistachio cake that is vegan and gluten-free.
I love pistachio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to try this.
You just cut
The nuttiness,
yes.
and yeah. So it's been actually our bestseller cake at the moment. You know, the mascarpone cheese, everything is made in-house, and it's vegan and gluten-free. I'd love for you to try and give me some feedback.
Oh, exactly.
Awesome.
Let's try it.
Let's try.
Yum.
Did you get some jackfruit?
It's very yummy. It's not what I expected.
What do you feel about the texture of the jackfruit?
It's sweet.
Yeah.
It's how do I call it? It's like fish, like the texture.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fish.
yeah, yeah.
Not meat, not white meat, fish.
Yeah.
And very sweet. Guys, you can't taste with me, but just come to Coffee and Plant. I've never seen this menu anywhere.
Yeah.
I've never eaten jackfruit in
Cooked.
like
Yeah.
cooked jackfruit.
Like a savory
I've eaten
version.
it as a fruit.
Yeah.
A fruit.
Yeah. Carrots, pickled radish, lettuce, and some other items I may be forgetting. Cucumber pickled, and you know, pickled. So there are benefits to a pickled radish. So there's benefits to eating pickled vegetables, right? It's good for the gut because it has the good bacteria. And we pickle all our vegetables in-house. They're actually served as a side portion in a lot of the dishes. And it's pickled, anything that has the good, anything fermented is good for your gut. Yeah.
It's very yummy. It's
Thank you.
but not sugary.
Yeah, it's like
just the right amount of taste in everything. I don't know how I can tell guys enough to come and eat this food.
they just have to come and try
they
it
just have to
here.
come and try
Yeah.
it. Said the cake is
Rose and pistachio, vegan, gluten-free.
oh. Let's see. I don't know if there's the best way of eating cake so that we eat every part of it.
Yeah.
The pistachio. It has some coconut.
Yes.
Funny enough, we are used to, let me call them the normal cakes. This one is different. If you're not used to plant-based food, you will realize the taste.
Yes.
It's an acquired taste.
Yes.
But very nice and interesting to the mouth.
You know, we try to make them less sugary. I want this cafe to be more like an everyday cafe, so you shouldn't feel bad having a slice of cake. And then on the weekend, you can go and indulge in the sugary stuff. But
It's not tasteless.
but no, of course not. But
you might not realize it doesn't have sugar like the
but you won't get that high. You won't feel bad about eating it after you've eaten it. You know, sometimes you have those big slices of chocolate cakes, and then you're like, oh my God, why did I do this to myself? That's the whole point. I don't want you to feel guilty, so you keep coming back for more. Yes.
But everything is good.
Yeah.
So
Thank
I
you,
too
thank
might
you,
have
thank
a
you,
problem choosing
thank you,
It's
thank
quite
you
an
so much.
experience.
Thanks for coming.
Experience is what matters.
Yes, the experience.
Food is food.
Exactly.
But what you're left feeling
After,
having that
yes.
is what matters.
Exactly. Thank you for coming.
Now, food is becoming more than just what is on our plates. It is becoming part of our climate solution. Now, this particular program is called Eat for Impact Initiative. It is a project that is ensuring that we embrace sustainable eating. What that means is that most local restaurants are now embracing special plant-based meals. And these meals are not only exciting to our taste buds, but they ensure that we reduce our environmental footprints.